double. Led today by Fred Daly, alongside him Jamie Jackson, Al Buckin and Andy in the pub. Please welcome the Battle of Britain Memorial Day. Passes in this formation before they break formation. An opportunity then to see the Dakota in its own right, and then we'll conclude with a fabulous tail chase. Unusually now with two Spitfires, as the Hurricane was unavailable today. Back to the mid-50s, the initial establishment of the Royal Air Force Historic Flight as it was first known, formed with three of what was essentially leftover thumb flight Spitfire Mark 90. It grows strength and strength for many, many years. The flight, of course, relies, although it has a full maintenance staff and a couple of full-time staff themselves, military officers, it still relies on a huge number of volunteers and public support to keep it going. An opportunity now to see the different genres in their own right. Dakota, or DAC as it was known in British Parliament, the C-47 Dakota. Coming out of DAC, of course, coming out from the manufacturer itself, the Douglas Aircraft Corporation, without doubt one of the most successful aircraft designs in history. being one of the world's most famous military transport aircraft and saw widespread use by the Allies during World War II, and subsequently by air forces and civilian operators around the world. Magnificent Spitfire, of course, the shape and sound of them already marked at the opening of our display this afternoon. It's a remarkable design in all respects, and a tribute to that design stable that R.J. Mitchell managed. Not necessarily the brainchild, of course. We've learned so much in recent years of the role of the likes of Shenstone and his prior work and diligence and involvement with the Heinkel production team in Germany before the war. The Spitfires were producing greater numbers than any other British combat aircraft before or since the war. Well over 20,000 Spitfires were built, with well over 20 different marks, and remained in production for 12 years. Spitfires fought in every operational theatre of the war and remained in Royal Air Force frontline service right up until 1954. It was an extraordinary legacy and an amazing development program, because by the end of the war the Spitfire carried an engine producing more than twice the power of the original. Its maximum takeoff weight and rate of climb had more than doubled. Firepower had increased by a factor of 5, and its maximum speed had been increased by a third. All essentially for the same airframe. Leading from the front in Tango Echo 311 in March 16. An aircraft built once again at Castle Bromwich with clipped wings, taken on charge in June 1945. Didn't get to operate, of course, from that date. The remainder of the Second World War, whilst it still had its days in the Far East. It was officially grounded effectively and used as a gate guard in Royal Air Force tankers, before being loaned to Spitfire Productions, using it to resemble the Mark I Spitfire for the famous film The Battle of Britain. Who's been well known on the air display circuit for many years, came to the fore as the Royal Air Force Trooper display pilot, doing wonderful things with the little aircraft you saw just an hour or so ago. He had a great pedigree. Initially trained as an alligator before then going on to fly the Tornado, and has spent many years now. And I think it will be a difficult transition for him when he eventually hands over the reins from his role as operations officer. Very much now one of the leading mentors of the warbird world, particularly for the Royal Air Force. The aircraft he flies today has flown 143 operational missions in a remarkable wartime history spanning almost 3 years on operation. AB, as we just refer to it in the business, was delivered to 133 Squadron at Biggin Hill in June 1942, and flew 29 operations with this particular unit. It continues July operationally up until July 1944, having served with many other squadrons and numerous patrols, many of those over the D-Day invasion beaches on the 6th of June. They all have so many tales to tell, too much to talk about now whilst we just enjoy the sight and sound of these marvellous machines. But the Spitfire, of course, played a major part in achieving ultimate victory in World War II. Truly deserves its place as probably the most successful fighter design ever, and certainly is the most famous and charismatic of all time. As they switch roles now, coming in from the right to Dakota, to take over the skies as the Spitfires pass alongside. Into their final parting role. Remember the 2,304 pilots who flew in that battle of Britain. 574 of them were not even British. Very sadly, 544 of them were killed just in that one campaign. The average age of the Spitfire pilot is just 22. The average life expectancy just 4 weeks. Dakota then manoeuvres back into Crowd Center. Fighters prepare to rejoin the formation for its departure. It's a tactical transport aircraft. The Dakota was used to carry troops and freight, the airdropping of supplies and parachutes, for towing gliders, and for casualty evacuation. Its amazing ruggedness became legendary, and the demands of war and its capabilities were increasingly permitted to carry a payload more than double the original specifications. 28 fully equipped soldiers or parachutes. Seen here today in Southeast Asia Command markings, conducted paradropping operations on the eve of D-Day in addition to missions to evacuate casualties and to resupply forces. When it's not in display mode as it is today, it's used as a training aircraft for the pilots who will go on to fly the Lancaster in future displays.
Do you like that?
Truly memorable sight, as I'm sure. One more chance to get an excellent departing photograph. My grateful thanks to Flight Lieutenant Ted Davies and to Flight Lieutenant Jamie Jackson. Former leader said, but I understand Captain of the Dakota today is Jamie Jackson. And alongside them, Flight Lieutenant Sandy Priest and Al Luckins. today's airmen remembering the heroes of the past, and particularly the motto of their flight, lest we forget. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a wonderful airborne farewell as they wave off back to base to hopefully keep these venerable aircraft in our sight for many, many decades to come.